Hope you're all happy and you're all positive after that weekend's result. We certainly are. We're upbeat, and this is going to be a positive live stream. So if you are a bit doom and gloom, stick with us. Maybe we can lift your moods. But if we can't, it might be a good time to switch off now. I want positivity in the live chat today because we will discuss some of your comments. Smash that like button as well to help support the channel and subscribe for future content. Top 4 races on?
Top 4 races on. I was asked that question on the aftermatch, and he was getting me at it. I did say we have an opportunity now after beating Chelsea. The narrative is certainly changed. Beating Brentford and Sunderland going forward, 6 points. Yes, technically, that can get us in the top 4. Me personally, like I said, on Saturday, I don't think we'll get top 4. But the narrative has changed. It's all positive.
It is all positive, and you look at the first half against Chelsea. Obviously, Chelsea were down to 10 men. It got evened up once Casemiro got sent off. So that second half, I just couldn't believe, though, the negativity by some people, the doom and gloom. Yeah, it was only against 10 men, etc. You would have thought, really, with some of the comments I've seen, as though like Chelsea were peppering United's goal. I can't hardly remember Bayindir having to do much, but I've got to give a big shout out here. Chelsea did get through our midfield at times. It was clear to see. But that back three, the back five, I thought stood strong, stood tall, and they mopped everything up.
Yeah, you've just got to look at some people's narratives, what they were thinking and what they were saying. I look at it, look, it's doom and gloom. We've spoke about it, reported on Sir Jim Ratcliffe, everything going on at the club and that, and it looked dour. It did, from every aspect, no matter how you looked at it. But you've just got to look at the game. Chelsea come to Old Trafford and expected Man United at home to come at them for the first 15 minutes. And Chelsea's game plan was to hold United and then come out and take it to United. But the thing is, the game changed. We all know it changed on the sending off. But then the game changed, and the narrative and the mindset from both sides changed once Casemiro got sent off. Half-time come, Chelsea were going to come storming out and go at United because they were 2-0 down. But United, their mentality changed. We've got to dig in. We know Chelsea are going to come, and we've got to fight. Now, I turned round and said it was an excellent game of football. I think that was the word I used, didn't I?
Yeah, an excellent game of football, yeah.
Yeah, an excellent
I think so.
Yeah, an excellent game of football. And I thought it was from United because the mindset, they fought and fought to stop Chelsea creating anything. And the reality was they did. So for me, it was a really good game of football, right, which was taken up with a few incidents, what changed every half hour. And Chelsea tried as hard as they could, and United battled. And you've not seen that. And that's why I say the narrative's changed now going forward. We demand them players work as hard as they did against Chelsea, and we're demanding 6 points at Brentford and Sunderland. And when we get them 6 points, then let's see where we are, because we will be in a better position than we was a week ago after that City game. We'll be nearer the top 4 than the relegation zone. And going forward, that is a big, big boost. But we've got to win the games. And we have to win them. There is no excuses here. We said it last week. No excuses.
Yeah, went into the game saying it wouldn't be the end of the world if we got a point against Chelsea, but then looking towards the Brentford and Sunderland game, getting the 3 points in each of those games, that was my target. So getting the 3 points off Chelsea at the moment is a bonus, because I want Manchester United to go into that Brentford game with the same aggression that they started off with against Chelsea. And let's hope for back-to-back wins, small steps. That's what this club needs to take, and I think if they do get the 3 points against Brentford, that should lift the fan base, but also lift the mood inside the club as well, because there's a couple of tough games coming up after that international break, i.e. Liverpool, Anfield. Danny Wade, thanks for your super chat.
Thank you.
The media have both to talk about this morning. The positivity and doom and gloom. Do you mean, mate, in how I actually started the show off today? I'm not too sure. Let me know in the chat. But I must say that a lot of positivity already coming in the chat. And, you know, if we're going to give it a balanced reaction, which we always do.
Yeah, well, we try.
Yeah, of course. There was moments in, not just even the second half, there was in the first half as well when Chelsea were down to 10 men in how they played through the actual midfield. They're a strong side, Chelsea. Credit to them. They're building something there. And I think Manchester United, like I say, the back three and back five coped really well, where any attacks that were on us, especially in that second half, they were just mopping it up.
Yeah, they were mopping it up. Look, one win, right, and everything's fine and dandy. Absolutely not. You know, there's no let up on Amorim, and nor should there be. Nor should there be, right? It's a great win. Great 3 points. And the positivity going forward, we're now looking to pick up 6 points. So for me, yeah, Amorim's got it all to do, and he will have it all to do. You know, we're not ignoring that fact. But when you win a game of football, you have to be positive and you have to look forward. Now, as things change, having a winning mentality, look, let me tell you, it takes hard work to keep that mentality going. So, you know, with this manager, you have to turn around and say, it's been hard. It's been hard for him to be even capable of getting 2 wins on the trot. So for me, it's all mentality. And you can't argue with the mentality after the game of the players and the fans who were in an absolute torrential rainstorm watching that game. They were behind him, and no one really expected it. But Amorim, it doesn't escape. The players don't escape. And as I say, everything's not fine and dandy.
No, it's inconsistency. But you just open that sort of performance, the way the team did stick together, the aggression, like we keep saying out there, we start seeing some consistency now, and we've just got to hope that it is a turning point. Danny Wade's come back to correct his previous super chat. The media have nothing to talk about this morning now. I can totally agree with you there, mate, especially the likes of TalkSport, etc. When Manchester United get the 3 points, they don't like it.
No, they don't like it, and the media are sort of ignoring it at the moment because they can't go in on Amorim, because the reality is, okay, Chelsea are a good side. They would have been sat right now, if they'd have beat Manchester United, 2nd in the league. Now, you wouldn't think that if you listen to Chelsea fans. They want the manager sacked. Yeah. They want the manager sacked. Absolute mental, right? They think Chelsea are a disgrace and everything else like that. Talk about sour grapes. So, at the end of the day, Chelsea fans are deluded. They don't know what they're talking about. That is a good side. It's a physical side, Chelsea, right? But United stood up to it, right, and out-battled them, right? For a change, that's what we wanted, and that's what we got. But for me, they're a champion. They're in the Champions League, Chelsea, okay? The club world champions. They were riding high, and then one defeat at Old Trafford. Now, they don't really get good results recently at Old Trafford. Now, I go back years ago, and Chelsea were our bogey side. I remember beating us and beating us and beating us. But that's football. But for me, this morning, the press are holding fire, okay? But they know what's coming. They know these 2 opportunities, Brentford and Sunderland, to get 6 points. What will the narrative be then? What will the narrative be? Will United fans change the narrative? Amorim out no matter what. And there is plenty out there, plenty in social media screaming for Amorim out, okay? Now, you've got Ratcliffe. He's looking around. One game doesn't change it all. But for now, my God, you have to celebrate and look forward with optimism. That's what you're supposed to do as football fans, no matter who you support.
No, of course. And I am looking at that second half as well. And, you know, if I'm trying to give a balanced point of view, be a bit critical of what I did see. I did think Chelsea looked more threatening and got more into the game once Maguire actually went off for me. Yeah, but I don't know about you or yous out there. I'm not too sure on the change and what the thinking behind that was. Was Maguire actually tired? Was he like losing that intensity? I can't remember. I'm not too sure. But I did think it swung a little bit in Chelsea's favour, and they obviously did get a goal back from there. But I can't remember too many opportunities where they were peppering our goal, and it's just a little bit of a disappointment for me that we didn't come away from that game with the clean sheet, because I think that goalkeeper, Bayinde, he needs that clean sheet to give him that confidence as well. So that was the only bit that I'm a little bit critical of, but that's about it. I mean, it's not many times you come away from a United game in the last 10 months and you can only really pinpoint one thing, that in the end, we got the 3 points.
Well, there's two things there. You know, you look at Bayindi in the game. Did he do anything wrong? No, I didn't see him do anything wrong. He got one ball, very difficult. Some people said he always spilled it and all that. No, I thought he did well to cut it out low on the floor, especially in them conditions. And then you look at Ruben Amorim making that change again. And that narrative won't go away if he keeps changing his back line-up. And for me, it was puzzling why he took Maguire off. But, hey, we've heard no explanation. So for me, going into the next couple of games and that, he has to keep that defensive in the same shape, because it does create uncertainty. But you look at the game, in games you have to soak up pressure, no matter who you are. And United did it absolutely perfectly as far as I'm concerned. Yes, they conceded a goal, but they stopped Chelsea creating the chances.
Just going into the chat, Mozo Graphics, I think it is, thanks for your super chat. He says, United stand mark caused the hate on Ahmad. Poor lad. Elaborate on that, my mate. I'm not too sure what's going on in the world of Ahmad, to be honest with you. I know what it was. What was it?
Listen, Ahmad had a poor game, okay, and then to top it off, he's turned round and he's interacted with Garnacho. So there's a pile-on, okay, because of someone, young lad, talking to another young lad who a lot of United fans aren't happy with. Listen,
I don't think Ahmad had a poor game, to be honest with you. No, I know what you mean. It's that social... Yeah, to be honest with you...
Social media.
Yeah, it's just come back to me now, seen over the weekend. Was it a picture with Ahmad and Garnacho swapping shirts and, you know, somewhere online or social media, which is to be expected. It's a cesspit, innit, on social media. You know, the people will find things just to be critical over, but, I mean...
Well, maybe they're finding things to be critical of, okay, because they weren't expecting Man United to win and they wanted to keep their narrative, keep the pressure on the players, keep the pressure on the manager. They want a new manager, so they have more headlines to say, hey, it's social media, 2 young players, it's not a problem. We all know the score. Ahmad didn't have the greatest of games, but he worked hard, kept at it, that's fine. And then he swapped shirts with Garnacho. Hey, big deal.
I know.
It's football, we win, and they have to. Everybody out there seems to want to find a narrative, right, to have a dig at Man United, and it's sad, but this is the world we live in social media sometimes. It creates headlines. We've ignored it. We're not bothered. Hey, Ahmad's Ahmad.
Yeah, just like to thank you all for joining in today. I see a lot of positivity still coming through in the chat as well. And I think another positive as well is that we're seeing Cunha and Mason Mount get minutes against Chelsea as well. So he's got options then still to choose from going into that game against Brentford, especially in the front 3 positions now. Yeah,
well, it was good to see him come on. And Mount really had a little bit of a fiery session at times on that pitch, the amount of minutes he was on, and he stood up to it. He didn't wilt. He stood in the faces, give it him back. He wasn't afraid. And then you look at Cunha, and I thought Cunha did all right when he come on, and it's good to see him back, get the minutes, and especially it would have been tough for them players coming on as substitutes because the ground would have been heavy, waterlogged, everything. So for me, I think it was a good workout, and they worked hard, and they backed each other up. That's what you like to see. But one thing I did enjoy, I enjoyed Mbeumo. He kept his work at it, and he kept going at it. So for me, once Cunha and Mount are fit again, I think we'll just see a different Man United kick on proper at Brentford. I just cannot see anything else but a victory at Brentford. Brentford aren't going through the best of times at the moment, but we know teams raise against United, but I think they're going to be too strong against Chelsea, and I think they will be too strong for Brentford and overpower them.
I am noticing if you are watching us live, the connection does seem to drop out now and again. It was something we was trying to sort out before the live stream started. So I think we'll need to actually replace that cable at some point, just to let you know out there. I am aware of it. If it does start doing it often, I might have to just close the stream down. But hopefully, fingers crossed, we got a win on the weekend and it will last through this live stream. But yeah, going into that Brentford game and Bumo going back to his old club again.
Yes.
And I felt a lot more confident when I'm seeing Brian and Bumo in our team further up. You always feel like he can create something or got on the end of something as well.
Yeah, he's getting fitter. He's getting more involved in the game, and he is a big threat in the game. I like what I see, and I think once Kuna really gets back to match fitness after his slight injury and that, I just think the futures looks good. I just felt sorry for Sesko at half-time, having to come off, but fully understand why he come off. I think there was opportunities there for him. But hey, listen, you know, go to Brentford and Bumo. It's written in the stars, surely.
Just going into the chat, Rowan from our members club, he says, we'll learn more about United against Brentford. And I totally agree with that, mate. Before the season even started, he always said, forget about the top 5-6 teams who finished in them places last season. It was going to be like the Fulhams, the Crystal Palaces, the Brentford, the Bournemouths, what I'm looking at this season to see that improvement, because we've had a tough time against them teams over the last 18 months, 2 years. So if we start seeing improvement against them sort of teams, like I say, it's small steps here compared to where Manchester United are recently and where they have been. So good performances, wins against them. I think it shows signs of improvement in this squad and Ruben Amorim himself.
Yeah, that's a good thing. If we get the 6 points out the 2 games, that does show signs of improvement and things are turning round. I look at it, it will be a tough game. But the thing is, what's more ironic is if we win at Brentford, that curses off Amorim's back. What people are battering him with, and quite rightly so, to be honest. 2 games on the trot. Now, that's going to be something to celebrate.
Yeah, Alex says, Sesko and Cunha will come good, and Bumo is already showing what he brings. Going back into the chat, Urban Bars says, I see why Amorim is keeping Bayinde in goal. His distribution has been good. The only issue, and it has been here even in pre-season, is he is exposed at corners far too often. She has been decent, to be fair, but like I say, I'd have liked to have got that clean sheet over the weekend to just give him a bit of confidence as well.
I noticed something. You mentioned corners, Bayinde being exposed and that. They got a goal. It was offside, wasn't it, from a corner?
Yeah.
Here's what happened. This is what I looked at it again.
Is it for foul?
When they took the corner, and this is what I've liked about especially the back 3, they're all in sync. They all know what they're doing. And what they did, they stood in line away from the goalkeeper. So when the corner came in, and they expected, because it is expected that they get a knock on these teams going to their players, our players had stepped out and they were left there and he was clearly offside. So that was something how I think the coaching staff and Amorim and the players are working on that, right, to relieve the pressure on the goalkeeper by keeping away from him and catching him offside. Once the corner comes in and it goes out, they step up. And that's how they caught him out. And that's why Bayinde had no pressure on him, because he was on his own and Chelsea players were in the box and United had stepped out, which I thought, right, was a positive. Not many people picked up on it. So going forward, I expect to see more of that, relieving the pressure on the goalkeeper.
Well, they've looked at it then in training, haven't they?
Yeah.
You know, especially since maybe that Arsenal game. He still looked like he was flapping at times away to Fulham as well when in swinging corners or crosses were coming in. So it's something they've worked on and tried to rectify on the training ground.
Yes.
And it looked like in that instance it worked. So again, you know, positives then to take away from that game going into the next games.
Yeah, listen, so they've got to keep working on it. I've been very, very critical of the goalkeeping coach. What's he doing? But, you know, they've all got their heads down. They've all got their head on. And they know how important it is. And I think they're behind Ruben Amorim. Yes, we know there were stories coming out. There's always stories coming out about players being unhappy and everything else like that. Even Bruno Fernandes sort of doubted Ruben Amorim after the City defeat. But hey, so long as they keep working on it and improving, And it only takes a little bit at a time to keep improving, and the confidence is there. And I've seen the confidence in that team, and that's why I was, some people saying, overreacting to the win. But listen, for me, there was no overreaction. That was an excellent win in anyone's language.
Yeah, still got concerns about that centre midfield area if you're coming up against a fast, athletic opposition in there, because you did see it in moments against Chelsea. But like I say, coming away with the 3 points against a very good side, I mean, you've got to be positive on this Monday when you're looking forward now to Brentford on the weekend. There's a few people in the chat mentioning Le Mans. When are we going to get to see him? But, you know, if Bayinde still keeps performing, I mean, what do you do with Le Mans? Do you just throw him in at some point, or do you just keep Bayinde in goal? Because there's not many games going to be coming up midweek.
No, there's not many games.
Cup,
well, the FA Cup's in January. Yeah. But listen, the goalkeeper's doing what he's doing. We've just won one game, so let's not go overboard here. He will come in at some point. Will it be Brentford away? Will it be Sunderland at home? I think he'll be in. Well, he should be in. There's no point bringing him in to be the #1 goalkeeper, because that's what he is, and keep him out. He'll be chomping at the bit. So, you know, he's got to get used to it. There's turmoil inside that football club. He walks into chaos. We're getting rid of Onana, who's the #1 goalkeeper, and it was never on the cards to get rid of Onana. So the goalkeeper's come in, took a little bit longer than I thought. I thought it might have been a knee-jerk reaction, because I did believe they were going to keep Onana. So for me, yes, he's there. Will he come in? Let's just wait and see. For now, you know, one win looks rosy.
Boxing straight, so a win is a win, but come on, lads, we've seen this before, haven't we? Let's not get carried away. That's a recipe for depression. I think you just said you're not getting carried away. And like you say, yeah, you celebrate your wins, but aren't you now confident going into the game against Brentford on the weekend? I mean,
yeah,
it's like, come on, mate.
Yeah, we're not getting carried away.
Yeah.
We're Manchester United fans who have just seen United beat a Chelsea side, a good Chelsea side, a side what's just played in the Champions League, which we could only dream of last year, finishing 15th. That was a good side, okay? And they had things against them, but they also had things going for them. Yeah. So for me, of course you celebrate. We don't get carried away. I've just mentioned 2 wins on the trot. There's another thing we've got to go for. Now, for me, Amorim is under massive pressure. The players are under... We know that. But as a football fan, on a Saturday, in conditions like that, and the pressure what everyone was under, and you come away with a win. Yeah. Listen, I've got all week to celebrate and have a smile on my face, and why shouldn't I? And then reality comes, right, it's Saturday, it's an early kick-off, Brentford away. Now what we need to do is go out there and show Chelsea wasn't just a one-off. We have to go there and fight. I'm going to have a smile on my face all week. The media have already laid off Amorim. They've laid off him because it's not depressive. They wanted to pile in. They were waiting to pile in. Well, they're going to wait for the Brentford game. Well, I can't wait for the Brentford game because I'm full of confidence.
Yeah, a lot of you is getting involved, still keeping up the positivity in the chat. Nikos P says, no one is getting giddy here, lad. We need a run of wins now. And that's what it's all about, isn't it, yeah. Nikos P? It's about, no, forget the stats in like defensive terms, attacking terms. The only stats that matter is your wins, your draws and your losses. And we need to start getting wins on the board. And that's only going to give us confidence and give the players confidence. And whilst we get the wins, let's keep positive. I do notice as well that it keeps on glitching now and again. I did mention before, if you are only just joining us, we have got a bit of an issue with one of the cables. We will get it sorted out after today. But yeah, just so you know, I have noticed it.
You talk about looking forward, and we've got to like get another win on the board and another win on the board and then be positive and all that. And that's right. Just think, if we get the 6 points, what the mood will be. Think about this. What will the mood be going to Anfield? Okay? It won't be the doom and gloom it was 7 days ago, 2 weeks ago. Okay? The international break's coming up. They will look at it, Liverpool, and think, United have got something. They're on a roll here. They're on a roll. Well, everything changes, and it's all about mentality. Once you get on a winning run and that, there's nothing better for footballers with the confidence and everything. Liverpool, they're doing well. We can't ignore that. but people keep saying they're not playing at the best and all that. But they might just start flying. But they will look at it as a big challenge, United going there, if they win the 2 games. So for me, I think everything going forward is positive. Now, as we all know in football, as soon as you get beat, the positivity goes. But we've just won. So why not be positive?
Yeah, well, you look at the starting 11 and we all want it to be stronger in certain positions, especially in that midfield area, but we was never going to get it all sorted in one summer transfer window. But for me, I want to see that same level of aggression keep up, from minute 1 until the end from Manchester United, because for me, there's no excuses there. Now, we've seen it against Arsenal on the opening day, and we seem to lose that then over the course of the next few weeks after that, but it popped up again against Chelsea, and we talk about consistency. That's the consistency I want to see, because it'll always then give us chances of winning games.
Yeah, see, you want the consistency, yeah, and we want United not to let up, okay? But we have to also look at the other side, what people do bring up and that, right? There's not been any consistency with this team, with the manager and all that. We all know that, okay? So what you have to just look at and say, fingers crossed, let's hope it's the same at Brentford. Let's not be too despondent going forward, because everything looks rosy at the moment. So it just takes a loss at Brentford for the mood to change again. And it's all, like I say, winning games, it's about the mentality. It takes hard work.
Of course.
And now the hard work's coming in. But United have just proven that they took and given the hard work under, and I mean under, tremendous amount of pressure. So it is there, but there's still worries in the game, like Kieran mentioned before, about changing Maguire and that. He seems to want to change it all the time, Amorim, right? But for me, he's got to get consistency. I don't know. I honestly don't know what the best side is. And I have said consistently, I don't think Amorim still knows what his best side is yet. So, you still got Martinez to come back in. And I think he's an absolute shoo-in when he comes back.
Yeah, I was looking at it and I was speaking to a few people after the game, and let me know what you think. But when Manchester United and the score was at 2-1, I think last season Chelsea would have come back and at least nicked a point if that was played last season for me.
Yeah, I think they would have nicked a point last season because United wouldn't have been able to handle the pressure. The work rate wouldn't have been there. And I've been critical, and quite rightly so, that when the pressure's on and the players fall back, it's as though they stop doing the work they should be doing. They don't mark up. They're expecting someone else to do it. But they didn't do that against Chelsea. They just stuck to their task and fought and run and didn't rely on other players. They all backed each other up, and that was the difference I want to see in any side. Players backing each other up. And you go to the midfield. We know the midfield isn't set up right. We haven't got the players in there who are performing. Now, that doesn't mean to say the players aren't going to get better, but we know it's not right and that it does get opened up.
The win in itself against Chelsea, who, like I said, still a very good team, brings its pressure on itself. Then, just like us now saying it, the pressure should be on Ruben Amorim, the pressure should be on the players now to go into that Brentford game and come away with the 3 points. Yeah.
See, when you win games and that, there's no pressure. There's no pressure, okay? The pressure's on United, and it should be. But every game, the pressure's on Man United. But when you're winning games, the pressure isn't the same. You've got to go out there, perform and be free. These players can't express themselves. They've put pressure on themselves by not putting the work in and by Amorim not doing, as a lot of people say, the right thing, picking the right side. It's always been strange in that. So when you're winning games, yes, there's pressure, but it's a different kind of pressure. And the pressure United have been under now is like a concrete block on their head. It's weighed them down. So having the next couple of games, getting the wins, it's a different kind of pressure. They will be able to express themselves and go to Anfield. I expect them to express themselves if they get the 6 points out the next 2 games.
Ever since he signed Matthias de Ligt, I've always been supportive of United signing him. A lot of people out there were doubtful, pointing to his injury record at Juventus and Bayern Munich. But I think this season, I wanted him to kick on, like we've mentioned, especially all the signings were made in the previous summer under Erik ten Hag. And he's one who started the season off against Arsenal, against Gyökeres, and he's been a monster. But what I did like and what I noticed against Chelsea in how we actually stepped up into midfield, even at stepping up into them attacking areas where you find our number 10s as well, being aggressive. And I need to see that from De Ligt constantly, and the other back three as well.
Yeah, I
think it sets the tone that when you're seeing your back three stepping up into midfield, being really aggressive, you know, for the rest of the team as well.
Yeah, I've not understood. I've seen lots of comments about De Ligt where they criticise him and that, and I'm baffled by it. I think he's got a good awareness of the game. I think he does step up. He helps out that midfield, and I just think he's a good leader at the back, where he keeps the players up. And I've seen it where he's like keeping the players, right, move up, and they all move together. And for me, I think he's been outstanding, along with Euro, to be honest with you, at the back. So for me, yeah, is he a potential captain? Yeah, of course he's a potential captain. But what an excellent player. And I think a lot of fans have underrated him from the moment he got here. Maybe some fans were critical, saying, oh, he's injured and he keeps getting injured. He's played for this club, that club, and they've doubted him, and they've kept up that series of like attacks on him. He's never going to be good enough for United. I think he's an excellent footballer, and he's shown it in a poor team, to be honest.
I know you was just praising Euro there, and I love the kid. I think he's going to be a great player. But, you know, with Bruno Fernandes's comments after the derby, mentioning about Phil Foden's goal, that really is a miscommunication between himself and Euro. And then you're seeing him switch off, let's be honest with ourselves, with Chelsea grabbing that goal. I think Amorim will leave him out at the starting 11 against Brentford, and I hope he does. I think he might need that game or 2 games just watching from the sidelines to take any pressure or any heat off. And I'm happy for Mazraoui to come in that back three on the right-hand side with Luke Shaw.
I think getting beat by City and what's name it, sort of switching off. Was he switching off? Was there a conversation? Were they together? Was the change with Maguire upsetting the rhythm of what was going on at the back? I believe there was a little bit of like talking to each other, sort of lost control for a few minutes. And that's understandable. And that's my criticism of Amorim. I didn't think he needed to make that change. And I think he was at fault, Euro. But the thing is, he'd not long been on.
Yeah, no, of course. And that's what can happen sometimes, you know, in the heat of the moment in games, especially late on as well. And like I say, I was just a little bit baffled of Amorim's decision to take Maguire off. But, you know, at the end of the day, he might have been tired. He might have been wanting to come off. Who knows? But it's all that matters is the 3 points, to be honest with you. But, yeah, I'm going to end it there just in case this wire, the live stream, keeps on glitching. I have noticed it glitching. Like I did say, if you're only just joining us, we did notice a little bit of an issue at the start of the live stream, so we are going to get a new wire. Make sure it's sorted out for the next live stream. So just like to thank you all for joining us, getting involved as usual in the chat. Smash that like button as well to help support the channel, and subscribe as well for future. And it is blinking just at the right time. I've done it. See you all tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you.